You can get forgiven.
Your brother. Your brother.
Yeah.
That's your brother.
Why do you think that?
Christian, like you.
Do you know what Christian belief
Crowd
is?
around here really knows
in the
what I'm
Bible.
telling you is true. This man is a liar.
That's what Christians believe.
Yes, he is.
What denomination is he?
A sinner, he
I don't know. But have you checked what he believes about what's
He
in the
never
Bible?
sins. He is a liar.
Well, if
You're a
I
liar.
believe what's written in there,
The
then
biggest liar. All liars
really?
have their part in the lake of fire.
I never heard the Christians say like that before. What denomination are
You
you?
can be a majority on this earth.
You don't believe in
So
it?
what?
You're
One
more
with God
about what
is
do
a
you believe in.
majority.
Yeah, you believe what's written in there, that's what you're supposed to do. So denomination is something you
So
invented.
for you, somebody that doesn't believe in a certain thing in the Bible is out of Christianity.
Kneel down to Jesus. Kneel down. Kneel down.
We have similar Islam.
To Jesus.
Yeah,
Islam is
Kneel
similar.
down to
You don't
Jesus.
believe past the Quran?
But do you believe Surah 5:32?
You would never bow to any knee
No, about
to
what should happen
Jesus,
to
would you?
people who
You
do
would never.
corruption in the land.
Oh, there you are. They just said it.
They should be
You
killed.
said it now. I tell you, you're scared of
To a,
me.
if it goes to court and they are found guilty
I love you.
of spreading
I care
corruption
for you.
and corrupting
I'm
people,
concerned
if this is
about your
the
soul.
law of God, then yes, it should be the law of God, yeah, implemented.
Alright, so God determines what causing corruption in the land
You're an
is.
entitled soul.
The court.
Right.
Alright, so when we have when ISIS have a court,
You are
Who's ISIS?
twisting words.
well, it's a name that I've heard related to
Yeah, but-
a group of Muslims.
Yeah, but it's a Western term.
What, Islamic
My
State,
God is the majority.
It's not-
Iran, Iraq and Syria? That's a
not-
Western
it's,
term.
it's a Western term. Yeah.
Islamic
It's not a
State.
name. Islamic State of whatever ISIS or these names were given to these people, and this term they don't call themselves by this term or any term like that. And even these people that you're talking about are they still in Syria today, in their own area, which is not controlled by the Syrian government.
No, they've been cleared out.
Honestly, it hasn't. It hasn't.
Oh, it hasn't?
Shall I tell you why I know it hasn't? There's a famous blogger.
But they've shrunk
He
it,
was
no?
there. No, he's shrunk, yeah. But they are still there, and they control their own territory, which is not under government control.
Alright.
The reason I know this is because there's a famous blogger. He's not Muslim. He went to Syria, and he traveled Syria, and he saw these. He didn't go into the groups, but he was told that this is where these people are,
Right.
and they are not controlled by the government. They have their own region, and they control their own area.
Oh, so that's the caliphate.
Allah says there will always be a caliphate on this earth.
Right.
No matter how small or how big, it will always exist. And Allah says there will always be a group of people fighting for Allah.
Right.
So if Allah says that on this earth today, which people are fighting for Allah? Okay, Taliban for sure. Taliban, I agree. The Taliban are the only country today, sorry, the Afghanistan Taliban.
Yeah.
They are the only people today trying to implement Sharia law, which they are doing. Apart from them, who else?
Right. So,
Maybe the people in Palestine, the people in Syria. I believe these are the people that Allah is speaking about.
okay, so do you agree with the Sharia law of the Taliban?
What do you mean agree with the Sharia law of the Taliban? How do you mean?
No, the way they implement it.
They're trying their best to implement it, yeah. They're trying their... Well, what do you not agree with what they're doing?
So you didn't, you haven't seen any of the classic videos of what they're doing to the women when they recently took over?
What were they doing? Telling them they can't go to school?
Yeah, well, there was that, but the videos were a bit more classic than that.
Well, tell me.
Well, you haven't seen it where the guy gets a stick and the woman's walking across the road and he hits her with the stick? You haven't seen
He
it?
hits her for what?
It makes you a liar.
And I'm sure he wasn't hitting her as a beating, like she was getting beaten. Maybe it was just a little deterrent.
All right.
But what was it for though? You need to know the context before you judge something.
Yeah, but there's another one I saw which is even better.
Yeah.
Well, it's a picture. I don't think there's a video. There might be a
First
video.
of all, we need to determine that person that you saw doing what he was doing. Are they going by Sharia or are they going by their own law, first of all? Because if I say to you the Taliban are trying to implement Sharia law, it doesn't mean that every person in Afghanistan is doing that.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, what this other...
But the government, I believe, are trying to implement Sharia law, yes,
Right.
of Afghanistan. They're trying to, as much as they can.
Right. Right. Okay, so there's one classic film. You might not see it. You'll get time to find it, but it's of a Taliban, I presume, well, it must be a soldier.
You presume.
No.
You're presuming, you see? That's the problem.
No, but he's holding
Okay, anyway, I'll go with you, no problem. Go.
Right, yeah, he's holding a gun.
Yeah.
Now, who do you think he's pointing the gun at?
Who is he pointing the gun at?
Yeah, just who do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, unarmed.
Why?
Well, that's the thing. That's
But why?
Taliban.
But why would he point out an old woman?
No, unarmed. She wasn't that old. Yeah.
But you talking to me about the Taliban, but what you should be speaking to me about is why have they been in war for the last 42 years?
Well, yeah, because of the Americans.
And the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Why don't you concentrate on these issues?
Because now the Taliban have the chance to show us what true Sharia is. Yeah.
No, it's not a case of showing you because in Afghanistan there's a lot of Afghani people, they don't agree with the Sharia.
Yeah.
The ones that run away from Afghanistan, the ones that you saw in the airport trying to get away, they were the sellouts. They were the ones which were in bed with the West. The ones that sold their deen and their religion to the West. That's why they were trying to escape. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But when you see those pictures that they showed after,
Brother, I don't look at pictures, brother.
All right.
You see, Salam alaikum.
No, just in case you think I might be making it up.
No, but the thing is, brother, you can show me pictures, but I can show you a million pictures. A picture's a picture. You need to be there and witness the event and then judge. You're thousands of miles away and you're judging a people you don't even know about them. You said ISIS. What is ISIS, man? There's no such thing as ISIS. ISIS is a Western name given to a certain people.
So they don't call themselves Islamic State?
No.
So Westerners...
Not ISIS, no, you said ISIS. Do you know what ISIS is? ISIS is a goddess that the pagans worship. And the people that control you, they're pagans. Yeah, and the people that control this country and the media and everything that goes along with it, they gave that word because it's a goddess that they worship.
I think you mean Al-Qaeda. I know Al-Qaeda apparently was, they keep saying it was an invented...
Al-Qaeda exists. Al-Qaeda exists, but ISIS is a terminology I never heard before. Or even those people, I'm sure they don't call themselves Al-Qaeda, ISIS.
Alright, so let's just say these unnamed group.
But there's many.
Yeah.
Many.
Alright.
And many and different as well.
Right. So this unnamed group, you know how you have these famous, well, funny enough talking about it. Have you ever heard of a film called Art of Imposture? You haven't? Oh, some serious stuff there. And when I watched the first hour of it, and I have to admit, it's pretty cringeworthy stuff. But the good thing is it was all blurred out. So all the parts where the atrocities were happening was all blurred, so you can't actually see what was happening. But here's the interesting thing. During pretty much the whole of that first hour that I watched, they were quoting Quran verses, and I just heard people speaking Arabic.
It doesn't mean what they're quoting. Doesn't mean they're exactly. It doesn't mean they're Muslim.
You get non-Muslims that can speak Arabic.
Quoting the Quran.
Like this.
I can quote the Bible, but I'm not a Christian.
Of course.
Does that mean that I'm a Christian?
Of course. No.
They're using it for political agendas.
Exactly.
It's so simple to just quote, spare out words out of your mouth. It doesn't mean that they're Muslims.
So they're quoting from the Quran to justify what they're doing.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter if they're quoting from the Quran to justify something which is wrong. If it's against Islam and they're quoting the Quran, that means they're wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying?
So you're saying what they're doing is against Islam?
It depends what they're doing.
Okay,
what are they doing?
Well, they're well, the other classic things you always hear about
What?
the beheadings of they're doing them on the beach, isn't it?
Beheadings of who?
Well, Christians.
And for what? For what?
Well, it doesn't.
Well, you see, we're talking about something we don't know what we're talking about. There's no point.
No, but you see, the point I'm trying to make is that
because in Islam we have death punishment. Yes.
Yeah.
We have a death penalty. Yes.
Yeah.
But it depends. What is it for?
Yeah, so,
like for example, for treason, it's death penalty. If you kill a Muslim, it's a death penalty. If
a Muslim kills an unbeliever.
If a Muslim kills an unbeliever, for what?
No, What's the...
It's the same punishment.
Yeah.
One second.
Yeah.
In an Islamic state, if Christians and Muslims are living together and the Muslim kills the Christian unjustified, the Muslim's penalty is death.
Okay.
What,
We believe killing one human is like killing the
What,
entire
you didn't know that?
It's a
no,
grave sin.
you're misquoting the verse.
You didn't know that?
No, he's just misquoting the verse from the Quran.
Am I?
Yeah, start from the beginning of the verse.
I don't know word by word, but the insinuation is if you kill one human, it's like you've killed the entire...
Yeah, start from the beginning of the verse.
Well, do you think that Muslims are allowed to kill disbelievers for nothing? Do you believe this, honestly?
Have you...
It's not good to, honestly, this is very wrong, man, and it's dangerous what you're saying.
You know, honestly,
Oh, no,
right?
I didn't say for nothing. I didn't say for nothing.
No, honestly,
but
right?
I'm asking you, what
But
is
look,
the punishment?
in an Islamic state, the non-believer pays jizya. It's a tax, like we pay in this country, yeah? It's not as greedy as the government. You pay a small percentage, and there's conditions, and you know about this, yeah, I'm sure, about the jizya.
Well, I don't know the values.
So anyway, when you pay that jizya, the state that you're under, the Muslims that you're under, they have to protect you, they have to look after you in specific ways. So if an army comes to attack, you get protected, and you don't have to even fight against that army.
Yeah.
So you are protected. So that means all your rights and everything, you still have your rights as like a Muslim, man. You have rights like a Muslim. There's no difference.
Well, you can't put bells in your churches and ring them.
You can't put bells in your churches and ring them.
Well, you can't ring the bells in your churches, I should say.
But this, because why? This is, to be honest with you, about this, I'm not sure about that. I don't know about that.
No, Pact of Umar.
I don't know everything, you know. I don't know about that.
If you look up Surah...
But I know that you're allowed to have your own church and your own synagogues, and you're allowed to worship, and you're allowed to practice your own faith. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, but I think you can't sing loud, isn't it?
I don't know.
You can't sing in such a way.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
What's wrong?
The only thing that you're not allowed to do is the only thing what Islam prohibits is when you are having an effect or disturbing the community.
Yeah, that's what I said. But so if they're singing too loud.
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
maybe.
That's what.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you're in a church and your doors are closed, why are you? I don't understand. There shouldn't be a problem with you singing. I don't know. But I don't know this. I don't know.
No, I'm not saying singing, but singing in a way it's loud and it disturbs a Muslim. Say he's trying to pray, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know this rule. I don't know the rule about singing and church bells. I don't know.
No. If you look at Ibn Kathir and look up the Tafsir for Surah 5,
no, I don't know. I'll look into it.
Just look it up. You see it's all written down.
Yeah. But I think you've got this idea about, like for example, many civilizations where the Muslims ruled, Christians lived under, Jews lived under Muslims. They paid the jizya. If you look into the real history, I think you would find that it was the most civilized time on the face of this earth, all these times. Like in Andalusia, in any empire, honestly. If you look into it really, you would find that it was the most civilized period. Like the Jews say it was their golden age, Andalusia. Who were they under? They were under the Muslims. They say it was our golden age. They've never had a golden age except that time.
Right. Okay, well.
What do you mean?
No. I was trying
What
to
do you mean?
I was trying to remember when the Muslims they raided a certain place. I was just trying to remember. Was it Alexandria? Was it? And because it's just that when the Muslims raided that place, what you were just saying there, it didn't seem like the people were so happy.
You seem to be too fixated on the
course it
Muslims
is.
raiding.
Of course it
Why
is.
don't you focus on the Christians raiding? Was Hitler a
What about
Christian?
the Crusaders?
What about
Because
the
they're
Crusaders?
not following what Jesus said. So
Exactly.
did Jesus say that Christians should...
So why don't you know what you're saying about they not following what Jesus said? If a Muslim kills an innocent human being, he's not following Islam. So why don't you apply the same logic to that?
It's double standards.
Why is it double standards with you? Always. You're saying to me a Muslim will do this, but I'm saying to you that person is not right. So why don't you apply your same logic that you're applying right now when you said that person is not following Christianity? Why do you not apply that same logic to Muslims? Because.
No, I'm going to explain.
Yeah.
So Jesus told the apostles that they should not take up arms to defend themselves.
Every human being has the right to believe in what you have to believe in. But I believe that you should at least be fair.
In what way?
In all aspects of life, as in when we're discussing, Okay, you're not Muslim, you don't want to be Muslim, you don't like Islam, whatever, you got a problem with Islam, no problem. That's your choice. But at least be fair.
Yeah, but when I look at what's happening in the world, what we need to do is find an explanation. Why is it these people saying they're Muslims seem to be so violent?
Okay,
where did they get it from?
First of all, have you ever witnessed this with your own eyes? Have you ever witnessed a Muslim being like that towards you or anyone around you by your own eyes? Have you ever seen it?
Wait, and secondly, even if you haven't witnessed it with your eyes and you just heard it, why don't you look at the Christians? For example, the United States, the government bombing places like Afghanistan, they claim to be Christians. Why don't you apply that same logic to them? Same thing.
No, I am.
And you know, a lot of Christians also, they say that a lot of Christians around the world are being killed by Muslims, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
Yeah.
So why don't you go there and see if it's true? Why you as a Christian? Why don't you go and see if your brothers and sisters are being oppressed?
Well, this Art of Imposture film is very...
Forget about the films, man.
Well, it's showing real
No, because if this is the case where Christians are being killed by Muslims, innocent Christians are being killed by Muslims, go and show me, and then if you show me, I will denounce this.
Right, but the point I'm trying to get to is not really even...
What point are you trying to get to?
No, the point I'm trying to get to is why is it, where did they get this idea from to be so brutal?
Where did Hitler get his ideology from?
Oh, from his head.
Okay, so they gave from their head.
They gave from his head. Same thing, same standards.
Right, so Hitler quoted something from the Bible.
Okay, so these people take something out of the Quran and they misquote it, or they take it in a different context.
Right, so...
They twist the context.
Okay, but these Christians...
So when Allah says in the Quran, strike them by their necks and kill the disbelievers wherever you find them, it doesn't mean for me to go to every disbeliever and kill him. It's talking about a specific verse. So maybe these people read that verse and apply it to everybody.
It's context.
No, but what they're saying is not everybody, because from what I've heard is that they're saying that the people they're attacking is in relation to what's happened to them in the past.
Okay, maybe.
So if they've had people who've been killed by some aggressors,
okay, maybe.
Now they're going after them.
After who?
Who they...
After those people specifically that oppress them, because that's allowed. Or
well, actually, but it's interesting you say that. In this Art of Imposture film, there is one part where this guy is he's in a truck and he actually drives into a group of soldiers and blows himself up. So would that be legit?
Is that those soldiers, are they the enemy?
Yeah, they're there with their weapons and everything.
What are those soldiers doing? What are the soldiers doing?
No, the soldiers are in well, not a base. They're in a part of the town.
So who are we talking about here specifically? Who are we talking about specifically? Who's the person and who are the soldiers?
Well, there's no details, but the actual person, he's explaining what he's going to do, and then if I remember if he quotes the Quran, he might...
So for example, if I'm in a war, in an Islamic state or wherever, or you can apply to anywhere. As a Muslim, I'm telling you from the rules of Islam. If you are fighting the enemy, you can go and kill yourself and kill the enemy. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay. You can do that.
All right. So that was
kamikaze. The Japanese used to do it. Kamikaze.
All right. So
the Irish used to do it.
It's like saying if somebody invaded your house, ready to kill you and your whole family, are you just gonna sit there? No, you're gonna defend for your life.
Of course.
And you have a right to defend.
And if you knew that your family are going to be harmed, would you sacrifice your own life for your family?
You'd happily do it.
Some people would.
No, because what it says in the Bible is that we should not resist evil.
You shouldn't. You should resist evil. Why? What do you mean you shouldn't resist?
No, that's what Jesus said.
That's wrong, isn't it?
Well, you say it's wrong, but
you shouldn't resist evil.
Yeah.
This is nonsense.
Right.
Alhamdulillah, thank God I'm not Christian.
Right. Okay. So what he's saying is that you because the reason why, because in the same actual sermon that he's preaching, what he said at the end is the reason why he said that they shouldn't resist evil is so that they can be, and they should love their enemies, so that they can be like their Father who's in heaven. So what Jesus is essentially saying is, well, let me finish. So what Jesus is saying is that we should be like this to show the evildoers, even though they come to murder us, how nice people are in God's kingdom.
No, but the thing is, wait. We, for example, our
Sorry,
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was abused. He was living in
he was
spat at everything.
Yeah.
He resisted it.
Yeah,
and
but
he tried
the
to
only reason he resisted it is because that time he didn't have the power.
He didn't have the power.
That's why.
But and when he had the power, for example, and he could have done something about it, he told him to go.
Apart from 6 people.
Maybe.
There were 6 people who said were to be killed if they were seen. They didn't know about that.
I didn't know.
Oh,
If
you
okay.
want the hadith?
You can show me if you want.
All right.
But,
So my point is Islam.
yeah.
It's not, a lot of people, they preach Islam peaceful. Okay, Islam is peaceful at a time of peace.
But you have to.
But at a time of war, it's war.
Yeah. At
So-
the time of war, yes.
Yeah, so I don't like
It's
these Muslims, they come and they preach Islam is peace and no, I don't like this, man, because this is not Islam.
but in the time of war, it's different. Like you said, you have a right to defend yourself, your country, your family.
Of course.
I mean, it's normal.
Of course. Of course.
That's why that proves that Jesus is before.
But the thing is, when I use the same double standards on him, he's saying Christians have to resist evil. I could show you many Christians not resisting evil. It's the same thing. You're saying Christians try to resist evil, but I can show you many Christians that are
Yeah, but
not
remember,
resisting
I'm saying what Jesus said. Remember, I said to you that it's what Jesus says what we go by.
and we're saying what the Quran says, and we go by that. Whereas you're trying to quote,
yeah,
let's say
striking next to
ISIS
that.
and whatnot, but they're doing the opposite of what our book
What?
tells us.
So the Quran says strike them at the necks.
Yeah.
And so when they do it, they're wrong.
In the context of what?
What do you mean? Do it when? When they do it when?
Well, so it's the same thing. You know what happened? You said that you explained.
It was
about,
the battle. It was about a certain battle where the Muslims were driven from their homes.
All right. So if something
They were
happened-
oppressed.
Right. So if these ISIS
Allah says that oppression is worse than murder. Oppression is worse than murder.
yeah.
The young man will go, oh yeah, that's my hometown. He still hates Christian Prince, but he's proud of his own hometown.
That's why.
And then Christian Prince was speaking
Jesus
in Bedouin.
I swear, like every war between the countries, they would happily strike each other on the head because it's a war. It's not just our religion. It's just
The reason Allah says strike them by their necks, it was to make a statement to the kafir, to the disbelievers, not to do what they did again, to be harsh with them. So they don't do what they did to you before, they don't do it again. So they learn from their mistakes,
Yeah.
That was why, because sometimes you need to, like for example, when in a Muslim land, if it's done by Sharia, why you cut the hand off the person? It's for deterrent.
Yeah.
So cutting their heads off was as a deterrent.
To give an example.
Example, exactly, like cutting the hand off is an example.
Yeah, yeah.
In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, how many hands did they cut off?
Yeah.
I think 3
Yeah.
or 4.
So,
It's a deterrent.
Yeah.
Put this law today in this land, you're going to see crime fall.
it's going to drop dramatically. Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
They're still fighting.
What are you looking for, Baba?
No, it just takes so long when there's a lot of.
I'm going to have a walk. Baba, nice
Yeah.
speaking to you.
All right, nice speaking.
Israelites will return to take down Islam.